If you walk past Viktor Hovland at your local Muni driving range, and you'd probably watch him hit just one or two balls, and you just keep moving, and you'd be clearly unimpressed. You'd probably figure that he's a good little 4 handicap, but he's not going to ever get any better with that unorthodox swing, right? And yet he just won $18 million by clinching the FedEx Cup. I mean, just look at his swing. He takes it back way too far to the inside, and then he lifts his arms late in the backswing and makes the club get above the plane and way across the line. He seems to have a big over-the-top loop. Then when you watch him from the face on, you can see his head sways about a foot in the backswing. And when he comes down through the ball, he's got one of the biggest chicken wings with his left elbow that you'll ever see. So what makes this swing magical? What makes this swing able to win $18 million by clinching the FedEx Cup Championship and $32 million for the year? That's just incredible. So right after this, let's take a look at why Viktor Hovland's golf swing is so deadly and effective, and what we mere mortals can learn from it. Stay tuned. Hey, this is Steve from HitItLonger.com, and today we're taking a closer look at FedEx Cup champion Viktor Hovland's golf swing, which at first glance you wouldn't think very much of. Now, to me, Viktor's backswing seems eerily similar to Bryson DeChambeau, but his downswing and the way he transitioned, it reminds me a lot of David Duval, where David Duval would be above the plane line with his handle and swinging outside in, of course, at the ball, but the club shaft is extremely shallow. Now, while his swing has a little bit of a loopy over-the-top look to it, look how the club shaft shallows so beautifully. Keeps his posture, and you'll notice how he exits left with the club shaft staying about the same height all the way through the impact zone. Now, where Viktor's swing becomes very special, I think, is in his control of the club face. Well, all of us mere mortals are figuring out how to make the club face go from open to closed. You see, Viktor, instead, he's working on making the club face go closed to open through his golf swing. So the entire backswing and down towards last parallel, he's got the club face pretty shut, the bowed wrist. But here you see in the exit, the club face is actually open relative to the arc it's traveling on. So I've talked in a lot of videos about wanting to get my swing and your swing a little more square to the arc so you have control of the club face as you go through the impact zone, get more accuracy and consistently. He takes it one further. He goes from closed to open to the arc, and so he has the least amount, like David Duval said, he's trying to get the least amount of club face rotation through the impact zone so he can play consistently straight. Now, of course, it doesn't hurt that Viktor has turned himself into an explosive, powerful athlete, that he can also hit the ball straight at over 180 mile an hour ball speed. Pretty normal for him, which is going to take 120 plus miles an hour club head speed. So he's above the tour average there, and he's able to hit the ball really, really long while just playing his little dropping fade, coming in from the left, and just drops in the fairway at about 310 in the air and rolls another 10 or 15 yards. Just ho-hum, straight down the fairway with power. Now, Viktor's got a backstop in here to keep him from ever double-crossing himself and having the face of the club turn over on him. The chicken wing is actually kind of delaying the extension of his right elbow and the straightening back out of the right wrist, and it has a little delay, and so the club face will always stay a little bit open, will never turn toe over on him on accident. So the chicken wing, well, it's a little bit ugly. It's actually working right into his strategy. Swinging left, keeping the club face going closed to open so that he can hit a little fade, but never miss left. So what can we learn from Viktor Hovland's golf swing? A swing a couple years ago I called a swing only a mother could love. But I did predict in that video that Viktor Hovland would be shortly #1 in the world. Well, a couple philosophies we can take from this. Number one, you can be highly successful and reach your potential as a golfer without having a textbook golf swing. In other words, you don't need to spend as much time working on a perfect takeaway and perfect swing plane going back, but instead focus your attention more on the impact zone, starting in the transition, but the impact zone, trying to get the club face to go more square to square at least, so that you can control the club face at impact and hit the ball straight all the time. So hey, thanks a lot for taking a look at the swing of Viktor Hovland with me today. I appreciate your supporting my channel. I'm Steve, and as usual, I will either see you in the next video or I'll see you longer and straighter down the fairway. Everybody take good care.